Hey folks, it's a great morning to be an American. It is the end of December. It's about 40 degrees out there. 2023 is wrapping up, and I'm getting busy on electrifying these lights. Um, the big thing I got to start out with is getting energy in here. I want to talk about this and try to be not to be anal about it, but I had a cobweb I had to unstring. This electric box right here is a junction box for a service. And my father, I'm sure it's probably tied into this, to the 15-amp circuit that goes to the garage. Actually, I would imagine that that 15-amp circuit was to go to these electrical outlets here. Not that one. I tore one out. Just going to replace them all when I do this deck. But in any event, so my father had tapped on to a half-inch PVC, and you can see it right here. It goes back up underneath there, and you can see where it sags right there. It goes into the garage. That was his idea. I think this is the original. Probably back in the day they had the same NEC code where you had to have a electric going out to the building off of 15 amp. I'm almost sure that that's Tom's, my next door neighbor's panel, because this is the one I run, and I run this one here that I put in for the 220. Tom's wiring is up here. I haven't quite got those straightened out. I mean, I can see in my mind what's going on because nothing I do affects my dusk to dawn outside. But everything else is controlled by this service here coming up, the one from outside. My garage door, my receptacles, everything is 15 amp. Everything is run off this one line until I brought out a 10-2 for the power strip, which is ungrounded. I'm going to fix that, and to run my compressor. And what I'm going to do is start with this right now. I'm going to start talking about what I'm doing today. Now, I've wrapped up quite a bit of stuff here. Now, Dad had this just crammed back in this corner, and then he had it back that way. It was back behind the rafter 2x4s, and stuck behind the 2x4s, and stuck behind this thing. And that was for energy for the switches or whatever. He had a light switch here, and I don't know what he had going on. But anyway, so I pulled that out, and I bored a hole here because I got these metal plates running, and I didn't want to go to all the trouble to try to drill through that. So that's the only place. I took an extra length because I put a short one up there. I wanted, took the wire right to here. This wire went right to here. It ended. Probably would have been just enough, but I thought, man, that's not going to fly in case I'm in the future, because what I'm planning on doing is insulating this and covering it with pegboard. Everything's going to be pegboard. Pegboard screen behind the flag, because, and a pegboard cover for the window here, and a pegboard, this whole area where the sub panel is going to be. I'm going to have it all pegboard, because it's a garage, you know. I'll get the insulation up here, and I'll make a pegboard cover there because the sun is so bright. We are directly in line with the sun in the evening, in all seasons. It's just blinding. So I'll have a pegboard. I still have a flag there, and because I love that idea, and then we'll go from there. So what I've done is when I bored these holes for this 14 gauge I bored this one, I bored this one, I bored this one, and I bored this one, which split the spacer there, which I don't care. And then I ran it down into this light switch. Now this light switch controls my dusk to dawn out here. And by code, you're supposed to have a light at every door and a light switch reachable for the outside. That'll go off here in a second. And then you can see here, when the light went off, I left it hot. I took a hot leg to service my 4 gang. And what I'm going to do is take that leg up through here. And then individually, I'm going to have the 4 0 to 10 dimmer switches here, 0 to 10 volt. I'm going to have PVC come up kind of like this broom pole. Right there is what I'm working on today. This is going to be the first circuit, or the first switch, and I'm running to this location here. Alright. And then what I'm going to do is when I have that to this location here, it's the same plane. I'm going to bring the wiring out from this first light that I'm going to have here. And I'm going to put this access box right there. And I'm going to put the Wagos inside, snap these two together so that that one switch controls these 2 lights. That's the plan. And what I had to do here is, first of all, is for uniformity and just so everything would be direct current, I don't have to worry about any slip-ups, is initially these were the controls for the dimmer, the plus and minus. I pulled that out so I wouldn't have to put a Wago in the middle for the Wago strings to the home run. So I put the 18 gauge in there. So what's going to happen is, what you're seeing coming out of the end of this, right here, is why I'm having to run PVC. Every one of these lights is going to have this same configuration. It's going to have the 2 18 gauges, and it's going to have the 3 14 gauge THNN. So I'm just going to try to make it look uniform, and I didn't want to put it in any kind of flex or anything like that, and I didn't want to use steel just because PVC is so easy to work with, and it's enough to keep it protected. So that's the story on that. And what I did here is, in case nobody's ever strung up a vapor tight, is if you look right here, see that dimmer plus with the orangish red and the dimmer minus with the white, that goes into control the slide for the driver. And you can see right to the left of that, shining my light now, well, it wasn't even on it. To the left of that, or the left of it, is this 4, 5, and 6,000 K control. I'll set it 6,000 from the factory, and over here, conversely, the wattage is 40, 50, 60 watt. I'm leaving it 60. It's a factory set. I'm not going to monkey with that. That's going to give a nice. It's going to give a nice light. I don't think. Maybe that's a 5,000 K. Yeah, it sure is. 5,000 K would be a nice temperature. So what I did is bought those 2 18 gauges beyond the driver, took them out to the port in between where the legs are. Now this is a European type of a setup, or Chinese, whatever. But you can see my black goes to black, my white goes to white, and my ground, which is their yellow-green, is in the middle. So I took them all out, took them to the dimmer. And what you have is, like any other dimmer, is you got an access point for a three-way, which I'm not going to use. I probably could, but it's there if I want to. I'm not going to glue any of these connections. It's not necessary. I'm just trying to keep the wiring from looking crazy. So, of course, the three grounds are here. The ground from the energy coming in. This is that 110 line there, of course. Okay, so the green from the breaker, or from the switch. The green going to the vapor tight light. The black hooks into the red. And that was, where is that pointed out here? Connect the dimmer red wire to the driver's hot. So that's going to control. That's going to give me the switch on. Okay, that's going to allow that to work. And then, and it does. The switch comes on. So that's just because everything else is hooked up. I got the common, or the neutral, and the two blacks. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then the blue and the white. There's different colors. They got purple and gray and all kinds of browns and all kinds of stuff. But I guess it's just kind of like in construction. You just use whatever you got, Anyway, I was able to match up the whites. And the only thing that's weird is the blue coming out. So the white is the negative, and isn't it? White is the negative, and the red is the positive. So that allows this thing to, well, I'll tell you what, it really, it's going to be a fine adjustment. There is another adjustment back here that they're talking about, that little white. I'll have to monkey with that and see what that's all about, because I think that is going to be set. So, see, immediately it goes to, it goes pretty high. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it alone. Anyway, what I'm going to do is tie that up, and you can see, turn that off, tie that up. I'm going to have that one switch controlling these two lights in this position here, and that's the name of that tune. I'm going to get on it, and thanks for joining me, and we're making progress. I got to go to work tonight at 7. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning right now, and I was in here pretty much all night. I was mucking around with something. I forget what I was doing. But anyway, I've got a workbench. That's amazing to me. It's the first time I've been able to work on that workbench. I think I changed the capacitors out in this Mac 5200. And that's probably the last project I did on there before I started mounting crap. So I'm going to try to keep it in this form here. Not this form, but of course the clean. Sand it off and make it nice so that my wife feels comfortable coming down here. And then put all these Milwaukee tools to work. So that's the name of that tune. What I'll do is I'll give you a show on how I lock these in. I know I talked about that before, but I'm not comfortable with that cheesy little flimsy thing. I'm just waiting to turn around with something big and knock everything down. I'll go on and cinch them down. I've got a system. I've got them all set up. So I'm going to tie these two together, run that line, and have that going. And then we'll go on and we'll do the next thing. We'll go on probably, I think the next one will be the second. We'll be controlling these 4 lights. The third is going to control the 2 lights in the back. And then the fourth is going to connect the parameters. All these lights. And then everyone can get rid of these shelves. Have my pack house system here, more pegboard, and get rid of these shelves. Try to keep all my wood and stuff over here with all my utensils, put pegboard over there so I can hang my stuff and try to get some organization in here. I won't know how to act having a true workshop, but I need to get on it. So thanks for coming back, and we're making progress. See you later. Yep, just keeps getting better.